Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to the Dumb Dad Podcast. My name is Evan, and I'm a dumb dad.
Hey, everybody. My name is Kevin, and I'm also a dumb dad. This week, we are going to talk about solo parenting and how poorly Evan did it. And we're going to talk about, making your personal bedroom space into a fun area, but that going terribly wrong.
And Kevin's going to tell us exactly why he got mad at his kid for having fun.
All right, let's get into a little housekeeping first.
Sure.
Before we just get going with it all.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't subscribed to this podcast, written a review, please do so. That always helps us. We're still growing this one. We're doing okay on the social platforms.
Slow grower.
Appreciate the love. But yeah, send this to a dad, a mom, a grandma, grandpa, a parent to be.
Send it to your kid and be like, listen to this. What do you think of this?
Listen to this. We might read your review on this very podcast.
Ooh.
Pretty exciting stuff. Also, if you haven't been to our YouTube channel, where we've got exclusive YouTube-only content on there.
That's right.
That we don't post on the socials. One of those being this very podcast.
And then Kevin does like this wardrobe thing where he I
snap my fingers and the shirt changes.
Yeah, it's really clever. But it's just I gotta be honest, it's long.
Yeah.
It's 10 minutes.
Yeah. My wife usually cuts that part. But maybe you'll see it someday. So yeah, check out all that stuff and let's get to it. Let's get to the Dumb Dad Podcast. How have you been?
I'm good, man. Here's what I want to talk about this week. Last weekend, my wife, I think we discussed this when she went on a cruise for her friend's bachelorette party, right?
Yeah, we did.
So she goes on the cruise.
We discussed it. Move on.
I had the weekend to wrangle the children.
You were solo parenting.
Yeah. And, which is fine. It's, you get a lot of the, it actually happened to me a couple times. Like, some parents were like, oh, riding solo this weekend.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's like, don't do that. It's going to be fine. They'll be alive when she comes home. I'll be fine.
That's a bit cocky, but okay.
You know what I mean? It's just that assumed babysitting role still creeps into the conversation sometimes.
You think they were coming at you like that? Was that the tone they were giving?
Wasn't really sure.
I only say that because
maybe I'm looking for it.
You're just like, God, I just made a comment to Evan. I don't think I'm going to talk to him for the rest of the day.
Folded his arms and walked away.
Wow. I said, how you been, man? And he was like, how would you go fuck yourself? But no, I think solo parenting is hard. It's definitely hard. You don't get the break. You don't get any break. You don't get to go to the other room and go, can I have 5 minutes?
5 minutes, yeah.
You don't have that until from wake up to bedtime.
No, that's true.
That's not true. You have screen time.
I will say there's a certain aspect of it that happens to me when my wife will go away for a couple of days, and it's like I zero in almost. And I take it almost as, I don't know if taking it as a challenge is the right word, because yes, it's a little more challenging because you don't have you're not operating in zone coverage. It's just complete man coverage, even though they're double teaming you. If you got two kids, right. I got two kids, they're double teaming me.
Yeah. Well, it's zone coverage. It's just the whole house is the zone.
The whole house is the zone. Yeah. Doors are, I deadbolted them.
A little bit of the road.
But to me, I mean, all the basics, right? Make their lunches, do the thing.
Oh, you should have made 3 meals.
But to focus on, what else can I do? Is there a way that I can like we said, we're moving, and our room has just been one of the afterthought places, like my bedroom.
Your bedroom.
It's just been complete dump zone. And my wife, which I learned this from my wife, when you go on vacation, one of the things you should really try to do before you go on vacation is clean your house, wash your sheets and everything, so that when you come home, it's it's a nice clean house when you're exhausted after a vacation and everything. So I was thinking that's what I would try to want to work on our room while she's gone. Okay. Mm-hmm. And put it together a little bit, even if it just means putting up the curtains that have been in their box we ordered them in for 2 weeks. And it's I'll try to do that and try to do a couple more things, organize the bathroom a little bit better. And I was able to get some of that stuff done.
Great.
Still, and never will be as much as I wanted to get done.
Sure.
But I try to take it on is there a little bit more that I can do so that not only when she comes home, it's the house is how she likes it when we all come home.
Yeah.
I try to do that a little bit for her. So, but I don't know. I really do kind of take it as a challenge. All right, let's zero in here and try to get the least amount of things wrong as possible.
I can agree with that. I haven't had a weekend with my wife gone in a while. She went away for a friend's bachelorette party. I don't know. I wanted to say a number, but it's not going to be right.
Oh, like you're going to say like 6 months ago, but it also could have been 6 years ago.
Might have been a week ago. I don't know.
That might be where she is right now.
I don't know. She's not here. I think I hope she took the kids.
Why did she take the kids on a bachelorette party?
I hope they're not here either. But I agree about like when you come back from a vacation, it's so nice to have the clean room. We do the same thing as well. We haven't gotten to do it the last like 2 or 3 times. And by vacation, I mean like visit my parents for the weekend.
Sure.
They're in Indio. It's a quick trip. But we haven't, like the last couple of times, we've just kind of like, it looks like we were like, grenade! And then like left. And that sucked.
No one will want to stay here or live here or get our stuff if it looks like somebody already did.
At least like when we come home, nobody's mad at each other. We're just like, you just come home and go, all right.
I know, and
you just put your head down and get to work, and it's fine. It is a little nicer because you also, that's the thing you didn't say, is there's work to do
when you get home,
even if you did clean the house.
Yeah, because you got to unpack your stuff, throw a lot of the stuff in the laundry, unpack the car,
put the
whatever
suitcases
it is.
away, clean out the car a little bit. There's a McDonald's in there.
Yeah, from a road trip, 100%. So. I mean, it's a lot of that kind of stuff. We got the funniest emails today where somebody was telling us like they emailed us about the cruise when you were like, I don't know, hard pass on cruises for me. But there's a line in there that I love where she said, I really try to go on a cruise that I will enjoy as well, because it's just not, I don't want it to just be the kids' vacation. I want to have some vacation time too. And then her line was, I mean, let's be honest. Kids are always on vacation.
They were always on vacation.
Literally always on vacation. I thought that was such a funny line. It's like, yeah, they don't. What are they? They have like 2 things to worry about. Kids don't have to worry about anything. And everything's taken care of for them. Like they're always on vacation.
They're little kings. They're like, everybody gets mad at like
little royalty.
King Joffrey from Game of Thrones. But really, like all every day is as a parent is just like seeing how much time you have until you get to take them to a fun thing.
Yeah.
That's your day.
That's your day. Yeah.
We got 2 hours, and we got to take you to basketball, and then you have swim, and then you have a play date, and then you have a birthday. And they're just like, I'm hungry. And you're like, I have done nothing for myself today. So
here's the other one side of the parenting thing that affected me this time when I was gone, is that it just so happens that my son, like this is kind of, it was like it lined up that my son like, and they had an extra day off for President's Day from school. So, and my wife has gone up until basically that day. So it was like about 3.5 days, where it was like kind of riding solo with the kids.
Yeah.
My son had a play date on Saturday, and then he had a birthday party on Sunday, and then he had a play date, like game thing on Monday. So it was like 3 days in a row he had something to do.
Wow. Okay.
Which was kind of nice because again, it's like, it's kind of like, either I'm dealing with both the kids solo, but I'm also like carting them around the whole time. And I was like a chauffeur the whole weekend. Like that's really what I was doing.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
My daughter, who's 5, by the 3rd day, and like she's also, they're kind of buds with a few of their friends. Like our kids are friends. All of our kids are friends together, even though the difference between like, it's like 9 down to 4.
Both of our kids are friends with both of your kids. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So her buds are kind of her buds a little bit, when they've had play dates before, they'll go over to their house, they hang out for a while, like as well. But they were kind of specifically like birthday party and then play date and then like an older play date kind of thing. My son is learning how to play Dungeons and Dragons. I have no idea how to do that. And he's got a friend who wants to do it.
Could have called me.
and so they were going to go learn with like one of his friends, like her husband or whatever, knows how to play. So she was like, I'll teach him how to do it. But my daughter, by the 3rd day was like, and each time we dropped him off, she was having a hard time in the car because it was like, she started to cry, like, why don't I get to go in and I don't get to go play? And I was starting to feel really bad. And by the 3rd day, she literally said, like, it's 3 days in a row and I don't get to go to a play thing. And I was like, man, I felt so bad.
Were you like, listen to you, I wouldn't want to play with you either.
Yeah. And I mean, even so, and I took it as, I mean, I kind of thought that was going to come. And so
you predicted it.
Yeah. The first day we did something. I forget what it is. The second day we went to Discovery Cube And then the
just
third
you
day,
and her.
Just me and her.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
Mom was gone, and and then every
that's
other
the move.
every
That's
other
the
2
move.
hours, it's like I miss Mom. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
While you
I'm dying for you over here.
Finish your ice cream.
But I really recognized it in her, and I felt bad that she was kind of she was feeling it, And so I was trying to make something to do, Even the last day, we went and dropped him off, and I was like, let's go get ice cream and French fries. Like, let's do that right now.
Yeah.
On the way home. I just tried to think of extra little things, And then I made sure even though Mommy was home, I read stories with her like that night and I pulled her aside and I was like, hey, I've missed Mom and I know you really miss Mom, but I tried to make it so that even though your brother went on a bunch of play dates, that we had our own play dates, just you and me, and we've never got to really do that before, for certainly ever since before you were in school. And we used to go to the zoo and stuff. And I was like, I really missed that. And so I just want to tell you, I had a great time with you this weekend. She gave me a hug. But I think it's something it certainly validated her feelings of feeling alone and no one wants to play with me.
Right.
So, yeah, that was the weekend, Got through it. Got through the big feelings. Yeah, had some big feelings.
Got through the big feelings of parenting. Congrats. Yeah, it's not easy.
Cheers, dummy.
Cheers.
Well, let's get into the dumb dad moments.
Let's get into the dumb dad moments.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Yeah, go for it.
What can I say? This dumb dad moment is brought to you by just general forgetfulness. Because I do want to start with this. It's going to be a little bit of a walk, but I'm going to get there. Don't worry, I'll land the plane.
Gotcha. All right. No, I got you.
I think there's something funny about the idea. I enjoy playing with my kids to an extent, and I think I think that
what an asshole.
Listen, I think it's the reason we have struck a chord with people on the internet. I think it's because we just say the truth out loud. I think the people that are like, oh, you always love playing with my kids. Really? You love Candyland? You love Candyland? That's a nice memory for you? No, it's not.
Is it Parker Brothers?
Why?
Who is it? Sponsor us, but also with a different game.
Here's the funny thing. I don't even know why we hate that game. We play roulette in Vegas, and it's the
not.
same thing. It's the same thing.
Not.
It's just chaos. It's just like, cool. That's not the color I wanted. And here we are.
I think we said this before. Like Chutes and Ladders and Candyland are kind of the same kind of game.
Yeah.
Where it's like you could be at the top and now you're at the bottom. Haha. Like I know there's a game called Life. You can play. That's the game of life. That's what it is. You should play that game with your children as much as they are difficult to play. They'll teach them for life. You think you're at the top? You think you're at the top? Guess where you are now? The chocolate mountains. At the bottom. Okay. Because you pulled the cupcake.
I just want to amend. I don't think you should talk to your kids that way. Ever.
Sorry.
Playing Candyland. Don't do that.
Sorry. I
this
went
is
up a couple levels.
Live dumb dad moment. No, but so there are games I like to play. I like playing Uno and I love playing. My dog's really into baseball right now. Yeah, I love playing
Uno. Bad at Uno with my kid.
I love Uno.
My son has destroyed me at Uno.
It's a good back and forth.
It is a good back and forth. Uno's fun.
But there's one. There's some things that like playing toys with my son. He's just kind of just smashing dinosaurs into each other. Yeah. And that's that gets old pretty fast.
It's difficult to go down to that peak level of creativity.
Where he's just like, all right, you're the Velociraptor, I'm Stegosaurus, let's fight. And I was like, okay. And then I lose every time. And it's just so then eventually he just starts playing by himself and I'm just laying on the floor staring at a Triceratops for too long. You've done that? You're just you catch yourself going, I'm not doing anything right here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just staring at a toy.
Also, when you're playing with your kid, it's funny. 5 minutes is 5 minutes is 5 minutes. Period. 5 minutes, it doesn't change. Yeah. But if you're doing 5 minutes of something you're having a great time with, it goes by so fast. And if you're playing just dinosaur smashing for 5 minutes in a row, it's might as well be 5 hours.
Exactly.
It takes so long.
So
you only killed 5 minutes.
You only killed 5 minutes. And they go, play again? Okay. So one of the things I do really enjoy playing, I love swimming. We go to my parents' house. We get in the pool. My daughter and I, we're the same. We are the last ones out every time.
I love that you swim in the pool.
We are both.
What are you doing in there?
The same thing as her. We are kindred spirits, just goggles on, just going under, playing with all the toys,
dive rings or whatever you go down.
Dive rings. Okay. We're doing everything.
Yeah, that's fun.
We're doing it for like a couple hours. Like anytime I go swimming with my daughter, the top of my back is always burnt. You know, because you're just kind of hunched over swimming the whole time. That's just exposed like a beached whale.
It's like you're the guy in the I think you should reel sketch where have you seen that one where they're like he's like on some dating show, yeah, and he's like it seems like all you cared about was the zip line, and it's like a dating show,
yeah,
or like Love Island kind of show, and like they're like shows him eating lunch and he's like shoving in a sandwich so we can just get back to the zip line.
Yeah.
That's you and your parents' pool, like dinner, Kevin.
It's 100% me. So it was funny because my dumb dad moment was I had reached my limit. And
as if there, I mean,
it was long. I mean, everybody was out for a while, and then I was like, all right, I'm finally cashed here. And then your
fingertips look like raisins.
My fingertips look like raisins. You know what it was? This is my dumb dad moment. It's brought to you by stubbornness, because then I was like, all right, I said to my daughter, all right, it's time to get out. And she was like, oh, I don't want to. And I'm already like collecting stuff, and I get out and I towel off. And I'm like, all right, buddy, come on, out. And then she gets all mad, or she gets upset, and she's like, I really want to stay in. And she keeps swimming. And then I'm like, buddy, there's no other grown up in here. You need to get out. And I just like really like put my foot down. And then I walked away to go like get my shirt or whatever. And I came back and I was like, she had got like bummed out because like I got a little too mad that she kept saying no to me. Then I remembered she's a very good swimmer and we have nothing to do for the rest of the day.
Yeah. Like, so what do you need to do? You just do something out there.
But yeah, I could just sit out there. They got lawn chairs. Like they're in the desert. It's not cold there. I could have just hung out there and just been on my phone or whatever. Yeah. Had a cocktail, whatever. But it was just like, I didn't berate her, but I went back and forth. But now I've realized it's a dumb dad moment. I've realized I was like, I yelled at her for having fun. Also, to be fair to her.
No, that's not true. If she's telling you no, when you've already told her something, it's about listening as well.
Sure, but I also didn't give her a warning, which I think it is a little hard on kids to just like cut the wheel out of nowhere on them.
Cut the wheel? What?
Turn the wheel. Go turn a 90-degree turn. Oh. Cut the wheel. What do you think? What did you think cut the wheel?
Like I'm thinking of kind of the same thing. Pull the rug out from under him, but I don't know what remove the wheel.
You're just driving and you grab the wheel and you cut the wheel.
Nah, that makes sense now. I just didn't hear it as such at first.
That's not a great thing to do to a kid. So
no.
That's what I mean when I recognize my dumb dad moment.
Yeah.
So I did have to go like, because I agree with you. It is about listening.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'm wrong, but I'm also right. This isn't great.
I'm right, but I did it wrong. I did it the wrong way, yeah.
So I had to like call her over and like do the parent apology while like, but you're not off the hook. Like I had to do the like, hey, listen, it wasn't fair of me to like kick you out of the pool out of nowhere just because I was done. But also
because you can't read my mind.
Yeah, because you didn't just.
It's also your fault, by the way.
A second ago, I was just crushing you at ring gathering. She's getting close. She's getting close, though. But having said that, you need to, respect me. I don't know. Just listen. We're both figuring this out. But just like next time you would say no to me and I don't just pull this on you.
Yeah.
Would you like to stay in the pool a little longer? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, great. And then she did that thing kids do where you're just like, okay, great. You can stay in the pool. And then I make myself comfortable. And she's like, I want to get out. And I was like, okay.
There it is. There it is.
And he looks comfortable. All right. I want to get out.
Well, hey, it's important to apologize to your kids.
It's important
to apologize to your kids.
Because
then they will learn how to apologize and they'll see at some point. I don't think our kids are learning it anytime soon. They will hopefully see in the future that it makes everything okay. It makes them feel better when you do that.
It is funny. It is this weird thing of you essentially admitting to your kid like they're not smart enough to figure this out. The kids' brains aren't developed that yet. They will be. Teenagers, It's going to be bad.
Yeah.
But like, it's funny the idea that you're like, where you'll just be like, hey, listen, I just want you to know I don't entirely know what I'm doing, but I am still legally in charge of you. So
that's they're like, that is, I appreciate you being an honest father. Don't say stuff like that to me.
Yeah.
That makes me so afraid for tomorrow, especially this weekend when mom's going to be away and it's just you in charge of us. Okay.
They're like, you say stuff like that, but yet you want me to try this new thing you cooked? Why do you think I like chicken nuggets? The chicken is already cooked.
Yeah. You can just, I trust you to warm it up.
Yep.
That's what I can trust you to do. I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna do my dumb dad moment.
Please,
brought it to the table.
Hear your dumb dad moment.
My dumb dad moment is brought to you by drywall. It's not as easy as you think to work with, and it's terrible.
Okay.
So we weren't thinking we were going to put a TV in our room. We ended up putting a TV in our room.
Uh-oh.
The reason we were doing this is because there's going to be little pockets of space in our house now, living with multi-generational, that like maybe it would be nice to just, like, for instance, one of the things I did with my daughter when the weekend, I remember the thing is that I forgot. I was like, when we dropped my son off, I was like, we're going to go watch a movie together. And she's like, really? And I was like, yeah. We went home and made like a huge tray of snacks, everything from like popcorn, chips, strawberries, carrots, like cookies, like everything I could think of on this huge tray and like these little bowls, right? Almost like a charcuterie of awesome kid snack stuff, right? And we sat and I was like, let's watch whatever movie you want.
Yeah.
And she's like, I want to watch Moana. I was like, awesome. So we watched Moana and just snacked and like sat there with each other, and she's telling me all about the movie that we've seen 100 times. It was like, it was awesome. Yeah. So it's like stuff like that. You know, it'll be nice to be able to do. Just spend some time doing that if we want with the kids or something. We got one of the ones with you have the Samsung, the frame TV. So it's like, it looks like a picture. Yeah. Most of the time, which is also what we were like, well, if we're going to put one in here, I'd rather wall mount it and have it look like a picture so it's not so distracting in here. Right. So for up until this weekend, it was just sitting on top of the dresser. And I was like, all right, I'm going to take some time before dinner and I'm going to wall mount it. And I've been kind of reading the instructions of like what to do. Pretty simple. You put two brackets up, make sure they're level to each other, obviously. And then the mounts like just sit in there and like, I mean, it looks like a frame. Very light. Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to do the thing where you hide the cable behind the wall. So it really just looks like a picture frame. So that was my goal. And I have mounted more than 10 televisions on the wall before. What? I've done it like 10 times. Not my TVs. I've also helped friends do it that wanted to wall mount their TV that had never done it before. And they were like, hey, would you help me? I know you've done it before. I was like, sure. I'll go help them. Yeah. It's all about like just meticulously measuring where you think you want it. And also pictures are much easier than this when it's like as definitive as like hanging a TV on a wall where it's like, well, I want the top of the TV to be here, the bottom of the TV to be here, which means you got to measure like from the brackets to the top of the TV or something. So when you mount the bracket, the top will be true to where you want it to sit, right? Yeah.
It's all about measuring three times and getting it wrong once.
Times and getting it wrong once. And so I was like meticulously doing this, measured, and they give you they even like dummy proof this thing. They give you like a a paper template you tape to the wall, which is super convenient because it's like you don't have to measure how far away each mount is for itself. It's just like you just basically poke a hole in the paper where the mounts are going to be. Easy peasy. My one criticism of it would be that it's a piece of paper that you can actually vertically mount the TV, so probably use it as like a menu or something, like as opposed to a horizontal TV. Or just use it as a gigantic phone. I'm not really sure. I didn't go that far into it. Yeah, it's a phone. Yeah. And so, which meant like there's certain parts you poke holes through on the paper, which were consistent. The top of the TV is not the top of the paper. It's like where these little L brackets are. I don't know if you remember doing that part of it, but so I very carefully measured where the top of the TV was going to go, where my brackets were going to go, and then very cleanly, I also like did this as clean as I could, like cut a rectangle out of the drywall so I could insert, I don't know what you'd call this, like a cable gathering. Instead of an outlet, it's just like this piece of rubber that's got a bunch of little cuts in it.
That's what I put in mine.
Yeah, so you can like pass the cable through it, and it looks nice and clean as opposed to a cable just like coming out of a hole in your wall, right? So I like measured up top, like plumbed it, made sure they were on top of each other, like searched for studs first to make sure I wasn't going to get something that's going to not let it pass through, like all the stuff. I get all the way down to where I'm passing it through. I plug it in. I wall mount the television.
Yeah.
And I'm like cleaning up a little bit. The cable's through. I'm like getting ready to push the dresser back. And I step back into the room and I look and it's like 10 inches lower than I thought it was going to be.
Good. And you've already cut holes.
Oh, yeah. And like it was like, it was barely going to be above the dresser. It would just look like it was just sitting on the dresser leaning against the wall.
Like you did nothing. Like all that work, like you...
No, it was lower because it was on the stand it came with.
Oh, it's lower.
This is lower.
You made it look worse. Like you're just like, you just rested a TV on a dresser.
I've just rested on the dresser.
Let me just put this here. Yeah. I promise I'll get to it.
But it was not. It was actually solidly on the wall and with hidden cables.
Nice. Did you do it again?
So I had to go all the way backwards. And I had to go to the hardware store and get like drywall spackling. And luckily I still had like extra paint. We kept a little bit of extra paint for touch-ups and stuff for our room. So at least I had paint.
Yeah.
But I had to, you do this trick where you I had to buy like a piece of drywall. Mm-hmm. And then you sort of loosely trace the triangle where it's going to go. But you cut it larger. Mm-hmm. And then you like break away the piece of drywall that's not going to go. So the paper's left there.
Right.
I don't know if you've seen that. It's like on social media. That. So you goop it up and you smash it in, but all of this takes so long. Mm-hmm. It's like I wanted to do this before dinner, and this is like now the next day that I'm like
you had to go into the next day. Hole. You didn't stay up and do it.
Well, no, because it's like in the room, I'm like, and you got to let all the spackling dry enough to sand it.
Right.
So I was like trying so hard to spackle it as clean as I could get it, and not have to like redo it or anything.
Yeah. But
I couldn't. It was like there's still little pockets and nicks where I had to sand it, and it was like. Parts of it were bulging out a little bit more. I had to put more spackling on there to make it look as flat as possible. Because this is like now where I had to raise it up. The reason I had to raise it up is because it would expose the hole that I cut so meticulously. So I had to cut a new hole just like an inch above it. Like so annoying. So annoying. And so, it just felt so dumb. Again, like...
And this was when your wife was out of town?
No. She came back on like the Monday and I did it like, a couple days after. It was like, now it was like the one thing I really wanted to do, but I didn't get to.
Okay.
So I was like, that's the one last thing I want to do. Like there's still a lot of work to do everywhere in the house, but that was like a few of the things that I was like, I'm going to get the curtains. I'm going to get my stuff gone through, got all the Goodwill bags that like I was donating a bunch of clothes or whoever I was going to donate to them, put them in the back of the car. Like I was like shoving stuff so it was like clean as I could get it, and then anticipating like I could drive those to donate them tomorrow, drive this to whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like the one thing I didn't get to. And then I spent all this time so carefully doing it wrong. That was what I couldn't get past. It was like, I measured it multiple times. I just forgot when I put the paper on the wall, I put the top of the paper where I wanted the top of the TV to be.
Right, which is not what the paper said.
I needed to raise it up or fold it where the top of the TV was going to be and then drill my holes.
Yeah.
So I had to spackle the holes too. I had to take the mounts off, fill the little holes in.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, that's what I couldn't get past. Like, not only am I pretty good at DIY stuff around the house, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I've mounted like so many TVs. Like screwed it up when it was like my turn to get like mine get it right.
In your bedroom,
dude.
For you.
And like I just came out of I think when I first realized it, I went out to the living room and I walk up to my wife. She goes, "What's up?" And I go, "You want to see the incredibly fucking stupid thing I just did?" And she was like, and I went and showed her, and she was like, "How many curse words came out of your mouth?" And I was like, "You know what? Actually, none. I think I might have said like, oh, what the fuck, man."
Yeah.
And it was just like. What am I going to get mad at myself? It's just like, no, you stupid idiot.
No, sometimes
it's more like embarrassing.
It's not a stub your toe situation. It's you just stare at it quietly.
Emotionless
till someone finds you.
Yeah, pretty much. It was just kind of one of those moments where you look at it and you go,
"You're right. You're right."
Uh-huh. Wow, I did that. That's a lot of work that I did on purpose. The wrong way.
You're like for a second considering like, could I cut the legs off the dresser?
Yeah. What's the least amount of work from here? I made myself go back. I even made myself like spackle the holes, sand them, paint the holes, even though they were going to be behind the TV, the wrong ones.
Yeah.
Because it was like, this should be a pain in the ass. I hope it's a horrible pain in the ass. So next time you're mounting something like this, you get it right. Because I definitely got it wrong. Meticulously. It just meticulously got it wrong.
Sorry, bud.
So embarrassing. So embarrassed.
The little things we try to do, and then the little things become 3-month things.
Yeah, and shout out to you. It's spackling. Like, you've been doing it more than I have recently. And
I've been doing it so much.
It's hard to get it and do it so it's clean. I mean, so it's like, there was no hole there.
Yep.
It's so hard to not be like, what happened there?
Yeah.
Yes, it's the same color as the wall. It's all painted, but I can tell that something happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's going to be right in between the dresser and the TV where that hole is. And I was like,
but your wall's a little pregnant. Your wall's like 4 months pregnant. What's going on there?
That's what I was trying so hard to avoid. I painted it the second coat before we left, so we'll see.
Yeah, it'll be
Otherwise,
fine.
no one will ever see it, and it'll be like it's
glaring,
talking to me.
Glaring.
I can see you. You can see me.
Well, we made it through. We made it through another week. We got another one coming up. It's all exciting.
That's right. It's all, today's a new day and tomorrow's another one, and the kids are always on vacation. That's what we've learned.
We're just taking them to the next fun thing. That's
right.
Parenting.
That's parenting.
Parenting. Taking
parenting
kids to the next fun thing and them being cranky about it.
And telling you they don't like that thing anymore.
That's as good a place to leave it, guys.
Sounds good to me.
Thanks, as always, for listening. Thanks to Adverdu on SoundCloud for the music, to our producer, my wife, Annie, for editing this podcast. Thanks for listening. Subscribe to The Dumb Dads on all platforms at The Dumb Dads. Thanks for hanging out with us. Evan, you got a joke to take us out?
I got a joke. I'm going to tell you the one that my daughter likes to tell. I think she got it from Bluey, but it's like she tells this joke so many times in a row, and she tells it to you like every couple days.
Oh, bummer. Go ahead.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Potato.
Potato who?
Potato went to the potato store and bought a potato.
Mm-hmm. And everybody likes Bluey.
Yeah. I'm sure she might be getting some of the wording wrong in that joke, but it's still kind of funny when she does
maybe
it.
Maybe it's a carrot.
I don't even know what that means. I like kid jokes. When they tell you a joke and you're like, can't even decipher a joke out of that. And they're so proud of it. I love it.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Welcome to the world, little one. Welcome to life.
How do I stop this?